The face of the world of the late 21st century was much different than it had been 50 years earlier. In a compromise between the forces of nationalism and globalism, continental governments had sprung up, with the Pan-European Federation and the North American Combine sparring over the remainder of the world. With the exhaustion of most of the natural resources in the Northern Hemisphere, the southern half of the globe became a radiation-scarred battleground as the dominant powers fought to exploit the last of Earth's bounty. With the rise of armed struggle, technology rapidly changed the face of warfare as it had been practiced in the previous century. Improvements in artificial intelligence, jamming technology, and laser-based defense batteries had ended the era of the ballistic nuclear missile and the spy satellite. Infantry, which could carry highly effective tactical nuclear weapons, had to be protected with highly expensive biphasic carbon power suits if they wished to survive the hazards of the irradiated battlefield. The cost of equipping a single soldier became astronomical, and their value on the battlefield increased accordingly. With the invention of biphasic carbon, the value of armored vehicles, once considered obsolete, again came to the forefront. Armed hovercrafts, or ground effect vehicles, also known as GEVs, became the mobile cavalry of the day. Equipped with massive Avondale Textron fan engines and multi-leaf spring skirts, they could glide over smooth terrain at nearly 150 knots, peppering the enemy with a fusillade of tactical shells, then quickly scurrying away. Medium tanks, plated with several inches of strong but lightweight BPC armor, fought for ascendancy over the more broken ground. Stationary artillery and missile batteries armed with tactical nuclear weapons, housed in tesmite metalloceramic casings, could launch projectiles over nearly 100 kilometers. This culmination of an arms war for more powerful arms and armor was the development of the cybertank. More of a land battleship than an armored vehicle, cybertanks were bigger, at up to 50 meters, heavily protected, with up to 3 meters of BPC armor, and armed with a battery of weaponry, including artillery, missiles, and anti-personnel guns. What made the cybertanks truly terrifying was their artificial intelligence brains. Cybertanks were not manned in the traditional sense with a flesh-and-blood crew. Instead, they were guided by a powerful, and some would say malign, computer brain. While tenuously loyal to their continental overlords, such vehicles had little care for humanity and would roll over friend or foe if it served their needs. For this reason, ordinary human troops preferred to stay as far as possible from such machines on the battlefield. And while these military leaders bandied about such euphemisms for them as automated ordnance and cyber tanks, the 21st century doughboy referred to them with a term derived from the dark myth of a millennia earlier. They called them ogres. Now, Ogre was developed in 1977 by Steve Jackson, and it was published by Metagaming as part of their inexpensive microgame line. Steve Jackson then took it with him when he started Steve Jackson Games, and it became a flagship for them for some time, and it's seen a whole host of additions and supplements. Now, while Ogre has a number of basic scenarios, it's more of a kind of sandbox game where two players can try an infinite combination of units battling each other. And in this video, we're going to explore the basic attack by a cybernetic fighting unit, the Ogre, on a strategic command post guarded by an army battalion. And in this case, we'll start with a defense of 30 points of infantry and 20 armor units. And remember, howitzers count as double, and all but 40 attack points will be in the middle of the map. And they'll be attacked by an Ogre Mark V. For total victory, the defender has to destroy the Ogre while preserving their command post, and at least 50 attack points. Now, the map's divided into hexagons or hexes, and each represents an area of 1,500 meters across, and each turn represents about 4 minutes. Terrain features on the map include these craters, and these hexes are impassable. No unit can move into or over a crater. Units can fire over them, however, and the small cracks around the craters don't affect movement. There's also these ridges. These are those heavy markings along some of the hex sides, and they indicate obstructions. Only ogres and infantry can cross these hex sides. However, all units can fire. Each armor unit has a counter, and they have a symbol and name on them which show their type, and 4 numbers which indicate their capabilities such as attack strength and range, defensive strength, and movement points. And there are 4 kinds of armor that we're going to play with in this game. There's the heavy tank, which is a main battle tank, the missile tank, which is a lightly armored missile-firing crawler, the ground effect vehicle, or the GEVs, which are a highly mobile, armed, and armored air cushion vehicle. Remember that each GEV may move twice per turn, and the howitzers, which are a fixed-position heavy missile cannon. With infantry, the counters represent 1, 2, or 3 squads of infantry, and they have the same 4 stats described by the armor units. Also, we have a command post. These are the strategic communication centers, and they're immobile, and they have an attack and defense strength of 0. In any attack or ramming, they're automatically destroyed. Now, the capabilities of ogres are not shown on their counters. They're shown on the ogre record sheet, and they change throughout the game as the ogre is damaged. Now, turns are pretty straightforward. There's a turn sequence where the ogre moves, then the ogre fires, the defender gets to move and fire, and then if they have any GEVs, they can make their second 3-hex movement. Now, as I indicated, the number in the right-hand corner of each unit is the movement points. That's the maximum number of hexes they can move per turn. Now, a unit never has to move, and disabled units may not move until they recover. Only one unit can occupy a hex at the end of a movement phase, but friendly units can move through hexes occupied by other friendly units. And up to 3 squads of infantry can stack in a single hex together. With the exception of ramming, no unit may move through a hex occupied by an enemy unit. However, ogres can damage or destroy enemy units by ramming them, and ramming a unit is accomplished by moving onto or through its hex. Now, when you're ramming armor units, an immobile armor unit such as a howitzer or a disabled unit is destroyed if it's rammed. Any other armor units disabled on a die roll of 1 to 3 or destroyed on a die roll of 4 to 6. The ogre player rolls the die immediately upon ramming. Now, if the ogre rams a unit and it is disabled, the ogre can expend 1 more movement point, stay in the hex, ram again, and try to destroy the unit. An ogre loses 2 tread units for ramming a heavy tank and 1 tread unit for ramming any other armor unit. If a unit remains after being rammed, I usually just place it on the nearest adjacent hex. Also, if an ogre still has movement left after ramming, it can continue to move. However, if the loss of treads due to ramming reduces they have to move at the reduced number of hexes that turn. Now, armor units can also ram an ogre by moving onto its hex. The ogre loses 1 tread unit, however, the armor unit is immediately destroyed. Now, an ogre can't ram infantry, but it can move onto or over an infantry hex as though the infantry were not there. And if the ogre has any anti-personnel weapons left, the infantry unit's automatically reduced by 1 strength point. An ogre can choose then to expend another movement point, stay in the hex, and reduce the infantry by 1 strength point again. At the end of the movement, you place any remaining infantry in an adjacent hex. GEVs are special in that they have a double movement. A GEV can move twice during a turn, once up to 4 hexes before combat when all the other units are moving, and then once up to 3 hexes after combat. So they can be used for kind of a wolf pack tactic. The ogre begins the game with 3 movement points, and this can be reduced by damage to its treads as the game progresses. Combat in this game is very simple. After the movement phase, there's a fire phase, and each standard counter carries a combat factor expressed as 2 numbers separated by a slash, for instance, a 4-2. The first number shows the unit's attack strength. The second shows its range in hexes. That is the maximum number of hexes that it can attack over. There's also a defense strength, and each standard unit has a defense strength in the top left-hand corner. For instance, it might say a D2. That means it has a defense strength of 2. An ogre has a number of different weapons, each with its own attack strength, range, and defense strength, and they're shown on the ogre record sheet. An ogre also has tread units, and these units represent the state of the ogre's treads and motors. And damage, that is the reduction of tread units, slows the ogre down. So when an ogre's tread units are reduced to 2/3 of their original total, the ogre's movement is reduced from 3 to 2. When the tread units are reduced to 1/3 of their original total, the ogre has only 1 movement point. That is, they can only go 1 hex per turn. And when the ogre's treads are all gone, the ogre can no longer move. It can still fire at anything within range, but it's dead in the water. In general, each attack is resolved by comparing the attack and defense strengths of the units involved, and then rolling a die. Specifically for each attack, all attack strengths involved are totaled, then compared with the defense strength of the target in a ratio form, and then this ratio is then rounded off in the defender's. Once the ratio is determined, the attacker rolls a dice and consults the proper column of the CRT to find the result. And results are applied immediately. X's indicate that the unit is eliminated, D indicates that the unit is disabled, and remember 2 disabled results on the same indicate that it is destroyed, and any indicates that the attack is ineffective. Now, any number of units and or ogre weapons can combine their attack strengths into any attack on a single target, except for the ogre tread units, which are a little different. Also, any number of successive attacks may be made against any unit or ogre weapon in one turn, provided that each attacking unit or weapon fires only once. However, attack strengths may never be divided between targets. A missile tank could fire a 1-1 on one ogre second battery, but not a 1-2 on two secondary batteries at once. Now, ogre anti-personnel weapons are effective only against infantry and the command center. No infantry unit may be attacked more than once per turn by anti-personnel, though an ogre can use multiple anti-personnel weapons on an infantry unit. When all the AP weapons are gone, the ogre can no longer reduce an infantry unit's strength by 1 by entering that hex. Now, any weapon can be used against infantry. On any attack on infantry, a disabled indicates the infantry is reduced by 1 unit, and an X indicates that it's been eliminated. Ogres also have missiles, and these are one-shot weapons. Once they're used, or destroyed if they've been fired upon, they're gone, and you mark this off the record sheet. Now, any unit firing on an ogre has to specify the target it's attacking, either one specific weapon or the ogre's tread units. If the weapon is a target, the attack strength of the attacker is compared to the defense strength of the weapon attacked. An X result on the CRT means the target weapon is destroyed, and disabled results do not affect ogres. If units are attacking an ogre's treads, the attack is always at a 1-to-1 ratio. In other words, after the attack is announced, the attacker rolls a dice, and on a roll of 5 or 6, the ogre loses a number of treads equal to the attack strength used. Now, each unit attacking treads must do so individually. You can't bunch up when attacking a tread. As I said before, a player can make their attacks in any order they wish, and they observe the results of each attack before announcing and carrying out the next attack. And they can use this to most effectively use their strengths. However, a player always has to announce what they're attacking with, and the odds before they roll the dice. Ogres are destroyed if all their weapons and treads are gone. However, a lone immobile ogre is helpless, and the game can be pretty much ended at that point. Okay, let's do a playthrough. Okay, I've got Ogre set up here, and I've set the defense up with the command post up here in the corner, and then I've put some howitzers. I'm going to try a howitzer defense where hopefully they'll have a little bit of overlapping zones of control. I've put a few missile tanks protected here, and then I've got some GEVs that will try to wolfpack the Ogre. The Ogre is going to start down here, and I'm going to make this simple. I think as an Ogre player, I see what's going on with those howitzers, so I'm going to try to come around here. I've got my Ogre sheet over here with the number of batteries and missiles and everything on it. I've got a dice roller, and I've got down here the combat results table. So we should be good to go. Now the Ogre player will start first and gets to move 3. 1, 2, 3. And is anything in range? Okay, these GEVs down here are, let's see, my main battery has a range of 3. So 1, 2, 3. So everything's out of range there. The secondary battery can't. I could try with missiles, but I think I'm going to try to hang on to those. So I think that's it for the Ogre's movement. GEVs will move in, and let's go ahead and 1, 2, 3. Let me pop in just a little bit here. I've got everything pinned, so it's a little bit tricky to do this. I wish there was a Vassal mod, but Steve Jackson Games is kind of particular about that, so I've just used a draw document to kind of show you. I figure most of you don't want to see my fat fingers going over the game. I've got the physical game sitting up right here too, but okay, I'm going to avoid getting mushed. Let's see, so this GEV is going to move, they can move 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and, well, they do have a range of 2, so I don't have to quite get there. Okay, let's try this guy here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, they can move through. Oops. Okay, got to be sure that remember there's this little hill right here I got to move around. Heavy tanks. Heavy tanks, so 1, 2, 2, 3. They can move. Howitzers can't move. Let's see what we can do with our infantry. We'll move him down. 1, 2. Keep my missile tanks where they're at. Heavy tanks will move. 1, 2, 3. GEV will move. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Heavy tank will move 3. Okay, now this GEV will move down. Come on, get dude. 1, 2, 3, 4. I say this is a poor man's vassal. We've got here. I think everybody that's moved can move. I'm going to keep the howitzers in place, missile tanks. Well, the howitzers can't move anyway. And this infantry is going to sit back and kind of defend, last ditch. Okay, now we can start to attack. Now the GEVs will attack with 2 and 2. I think I'm going to go ahead and try to take out the main battery. That can do the most damage. So that's 4. And they have a defense of 4. That'd be 1 to 1. Now if I did this, it would be 2 to 1. Let's see. 1, 2. Oh, he's not close enough. Okay, these GEVs. 2, 4, 6, and 8. So these 4 GEVs will have 8 against a defense of 4. So that's 2 to 1 odds. And we're going to roll. And we get a 1. Okay, that's no effect. So they did nothing. This howitzer has a range of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is in range. Okay, so they have a 6. I'm going to go against treads. I'm going to use the howitzers to try to slow these guys down. So we roll a dice, and if it's a 3, 4, or 5, it'll hit the treads. We get a 4. So howitzers do 6 points of damage. So 6 points of damage to the treads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And then we go back, and these guys can move 1, 2, 3. Got a cat in my lap here. 1, 2. I'm going to move these guys. Yeah, they're in good spots there. Okay. Now Mr. Ogre can move. He can move 3. He's going to try to mush this tank. 1, 2, and 3. So mushing the tank is... Okay, so a 1, 2, or 3 will make the tanks disabled. A 4, 5, or 6 will mean that the tank is destroyed. We get a 1, so the tank is disabled. We're going to move it right aside here, and I'm going to place a disabled sticker on it. Where you at, guy? Heavy tank disabled. Copy and paste. Okay. And we are just going to put that on the top. So the heavy tank cannot move this turn. I'm just going to stick that right there where we can see it. Okay, now the ogre can start to fire. First thing I'm going to do is try to take that howitzer out with a missile. Range of 6, so easy. They defend at 1, so 6 to 1 odds. Basically anything I roll is going to get rid of it. So 4 to 1 is the highest, but we'll roll anyway. Let's get rid of that. So yes, it is disabled. So let's get a little disabled sticker. Where did I put it? Should be over here. There it is, right there. Howitzer disabled. Copy and paste. So we will just put it there. So we got 2 things disabled. Okay, that was a missile, right? Okay, so we've launched a missile. We've got our main battery can fire on... We got 2 shots. Our range is 3. 1, 2, 3. We got the GEV up here. We've got some GEVs. I'm trying to take those GEVs out. The infantry, I'll use the secondary battery because they have a range of 2. Let's just do the range 2. Now I've got attacks of 3, and I can use all of these. So 3 times 6 is 18 to 3, or 6 to 1 odds. And you can see the odds are pretty good here. I roll a 3 at 6 to 1. So if this is 4 to 1 or better, that's going to eliminate these guys. So let's just put a cut there. And they're now gone. I should have sat and tried to moosh that tank up, but that's okay. Now then, the GEVs, I fired all the secondary batteries. Let's use the main battery. And we're going to go for both of these guys on this flank here on my port side. Okay, they each have a defensive 2. And the main battery attacks at 4. So 2 to 1 odds, I'm going to fire 1 at each one. So let's do the front one first. I get a 6. 2 to 1, 6 is a X. Okay. Basically, I need a 1. I basically need a 4, 5, or 6. Okay. So that guy is cut. And now let's see the rear guy. And I got a 2. Okay, so this GEV is disabled. Well, we're slowing them down. Let's put a copy and... Okay. I think that's all I can do. I fired both main batteries. I fired all my secondary batteries. I fired a missile. I'm going to save my missiles to try to take out those howitzers. Anti-personnel I couldn't have used on those guys because they were too far off. So that's the Ogre turn. Okay, let's move now with our other guys. This heavy tank can't move, but this GEV can. I'm going to move here. 1, 2, 3, 4 here. Howitzer can't move. We're going to move 1, 2. Okay, and then heavy tank 1, 2, 3. GEV 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, these guys are moving. And missile tanks are going to stay. Everybody else is going to stay put. Okay. Howitzer can't fire. And I guess that's it. Okay. So these 2 GEVs will try to again go after the main battery. And then the heavy tanks, which have a range of 2. I've got one guy here. He can fire with a 4. He'll try to take. So basically, we're going to have GEV attack together for 4 to 4 for 1 to 1, and then this will be a 4 to 4, 1 to 1 against the main battery. So with 1 to 1 odds, we're going to need a 5 or 6. 2 attacks. First attack. 1, nothing. Second attack. 4, nothing. Okay. So now it's the Ogre's turn. First of all, we'll take off these disabled markers. I'll just sit them down here. And the Ogre's going to move 1, 2, let's see, 1, 2, 3. He's going to try to mush heavy tank. Oh, GEVs could move again. I forgot about those guys. Okay, they can move 3. 1, 2. I'm going to move 1, 2. Let's see. This guy will move here. Yeah, they're going to wolf pack him. Okay, now the Ogre is going to try to mash that heavy tank again. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 and try to take out both heavy tanks. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, just like that. Okay. Let's roll for heavy tank, the first heavy tank. 3. So we 4, 5, 6. He needed that. Now this heavy tank will be disabled, and I'll just move him right here. And then we ended up on top of this guy. I'll move him out of the way, and then we're going to roll to see what happens to him. 4. Okay, that took him out. Okay, now we're going to have some fun. Let's try to take that howitzer off again with a missile, first of all. 4 to 1 odds. We should get something. We just need anything but a 2. There, 2. Or a 1, that's what I meant. Okay, that gets rid of him. What? I just got rid of everybody. Okay, cut. And that was our second missile. We're going to go with the heavy tank disabled. Let's see here. Let's use our secondary batteries first of all. And so first secondary battery attacks at 3. We're going to go with against him. He's got an attack of 3, and this disabled tank has a defense of 3. We'll just say 1 to 1, and that'll use one of my secondary batteries. 4. 1 to 1, 4. So that's a second disabled, so that means this tank is eliminated. Okay. That was one secondary battery. Let's go with 2 secondary batteries. And this one, now I've got 1, 2. Let's use 2 together. So they have a defense, the tank has a defense of 3, and 2 together is going to be 6. So 2 to 1 odds against this tank. Well, it disabled him. Let's get a heavy tank disabled over here. I can mash this guy in the next round, which I probably do. Let's see. I've used 3 of those. And range of 2. I guess I can use... I still have 3 left, and these have a defense of 2. I'm going to try to hit that GEV hard. So I've got... Did I say 3 of these? I think I have 3 of these left. So 3. I'll just say 3, 6, 9 against a GEV at 2. So that's 4 to 1 odds. Give me anything but a 1. Yep. Okay. And that deletes him. Okay, now main battery against this GEV and the other main battery against this GEV. Those are 4, so 4 to 2, 2 to 1 on each of those. 2 to 1, 6, so that GEV is gone. 2 to 1, 2. That's a disabled, I think. 2 to 1, 2, yeah, it's a disabled. So GEV disabled. And that is it. I think everything else is good. Anti-personnel won't work. So it's now the defender's turn. That guy's off the map. Okay, let's start with this GEV. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go. Yeah, that's good. We're going to stay again. We're trying to wolf pack these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. This guy's disabled, but this guy can move up. And this guy can move up. Any more tanks? Nope. Okay. Missile tanks they can fire 4, so the Ogre's still out of range. Howitzer 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, this howitzer can fire. And how about this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not quite in range. Okay, This guy's going to fire first, and he's firing with 6 against the main battery of 4. Let's try to add to that a little bit. Okay. I need at least 2 to 1, maybe 3 to 1 odds. I tell you what, we're going to use main batteries to try to take out the treads. So he's got 6. And I forgot also mashing those tanks, you had to take off some tread units. Those were heavy, so I'm going to say I mashed 2 tanks. I think that's about right. 2, 3, 4. Okay, I think that's pretty close. I got a little bit ahead of myself. I do that when I'm making these videos. Okay, where the hell was I? Okay, so 6 on the tread. And we roll a 5. So we did hit the tread for 6 points. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we're going to slow that. We are slowing him down. Okay, heavy tank can't move. GEVs can. We're going to go 2 GEVs against the main battery and 2 against the main battery. So 4 to 4, so 1 to 1. So 2 1-to-1 attacks. First 1-to-1 attack. Got a 5. 1-to-1 at 5. So that disabled the main battery. And then the second 1-to-1 attack. This could really hurt him if... 4. Okay, a 4 is at 1-to-1. A 4 is a disabled, and disableds don't affect ogres any. Okay, that is it for these guys. And then I'm going to move. He can still move 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. I just want to stay out of range. 2, 3. Okay, yes, everybody else is gone. Okay, it's the ogre's turn. Ogre is going to mash the tank. And, take off the disabled marker. I can do that now. I kind of want to get up into that range of that missile. I think I can do it. I don't have to worry about these hills. So 1, 2. If I went 1, 2, 3, I need to be 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I can. Okay. So Ogre's going to try to mash Mr. Tank here. Ogre runs over him. We roll a dice and a 2. Okay, disables him. Again, 2, 3. Take 2 tread points. And we are going to fire a missile off with an attack of 6 on this howitzer. 5 easily gets rid of him. Okay, now we can try to bring everybody down. Now that GEV was disabled. Okay, so we've got the secondary batteries, which can fire 2, and then we've got firing a range of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, this guy's out of range, but these guys aren't. Let's try to hit these GEVs just as hard as we can and get rid of them. They've got an attack of 3. 3, 6, 9. I tell you what, let's do is 2, 4, 6. We'll use 2 against each. So this is 6 points against a 2 or 3 to 1 odds. So we'll do 3 to 1, 3 to 1, and 2 to 1. So 3 to 1, 3 to 1, 2 to 1. Okay, so the GEV, first GEV, 3 to 1 with a 2 is a disabled. Okay, the second one. GEV, that the 2 is another disabled. And then the tank has a 2-to-1 odds. A 1, I think that's no effect. Let's see. Yep, no effect. Okay. And then we've got the main battery. We still have 1 main battery. And it has a range of 3, so it can hit this heavy tank an attack of 4. So 4 to 3 or 1-to-1 odds. The Ogre hasn't done real well this turn. 5. Okay, 1-to-1, 5. And that's an X. So we can take this guy off the off the map. Okay, that is it for the Ogre. Now the defenders get a go. The GEVs are disabled. This one's not. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's put him here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there we go. And the missile, so these guys are going to fire on the Ogre. The missile tanks are 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The Ogre's still too far away. And I think the Ogre's going to have to try to go around. To go south? He could, but let's go north. Okay. So these GEVs, they have an attack of 2. So 2 and 4. Let's try to slow him down. Let's go against his tread. Now we have to do these individually. So we roll. If we get a 4, 5, or 6, we damage the tread. So first one goes. It's a 6. So he's going to do 2 points on the treads. Okay. Second one is going to roll. 2. So he misses. Now the Ogre is reduced by 1. Oh, and these guys are going to move out of the way. Okay. That's it for the defenders. We can take these disabled markers off. Okay, Mr. Ogre now is going to try to mash. He's going to go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go right there. So we're going to move right around. And so first GEV, we get a 5. So he's eliminated. Ogre takes a tread point. Second GEV. A 3, so he's disabled. Ogre takes a tread point. They only get, because these are light. And then they're going to end up here. Okay, let's try to do, first of all, let's, okay, so this guy's disabled. Or no, he's eliminated, I'm sorry. Get off there. We'll move these aside, and we'll move him out of the way. Okay, so that was that guy. And then we've got 2 more here. So 6 to 2, 3 to 1. We get a 1. Okay, 3 to 1, 1. Disabled. And another 3 to 1. 6. Okay, this GEV's out of there. And then the main battery will fire. He's an attack of 4, so 2 to 1. As long as I get anything but a 1, it's going to eliminate him. 6, okay. GEV is eliminated. Oh, that guy's eliminated. Okay, we're getting towards an end game here. Let's see. GEV will go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to try to pull him in a little bit. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nope, okay. Ogre gets to go, or GEV gets to go, and they're going to try to... I'm going to try to take those tracks down. So we just get a roll of dice. We get a 3. That does nothing. Ogre gets to move 1, 2, and he is going to mash that GEV. 4. So mashing him down, we eliminated that GEV. Come on. Get out of there. And that was 1. We take a tread loss. 2. 2. Okay, we're going to end up there. Now then, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, they can't. These missiles can't reach the ogre, but this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, he's still outside. Okay. Ogre gets to go. He can only move 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Still outside. This guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So Ogre's going to somehow have to get past these 3 howitzers. That's going to be tough. Since his treads have started to take some loss, but I want to keep him 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to have to move around here. So Ogre's move will be 2. This is going to get a little bit boring, but okay. Ogre moved, and we still got 3 missiles. Okay, range of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not in range. He's in the range of the howitzer. The howitzer is going to try to fire. So 6. Again, we're going to go for the tracks. Let's see, 6, and we roll 2, nothing. Okay, now then the ogre will go 1, 1, 2. We want to stay out of the missile range here, and he can fire his own missile at this point. So we're going to fire 1 missile at that howitzer, a 6 to 1, and anything but a 1. Okay, a 4 takes out the howitzer. Oh. Like I say, this is not a vassal, so. Okay, now the defender can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Ogre's going to go 1, 2. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so he can't get in here, but then 1, 2. Now the ogre is in the range. Again, howitzer's going to fire at the tread. And gets a 2. Misses. Okay, ogre. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Ogre really needs to get into range here to try to take out that howitzer. So we're going to move 1, 2. We're going to fire off a missile. And we roll a 4. Eliminates this howitzer. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. Okay. And so then defenders can't do anything. Now the ogre's going to move 1, 2. I think the ogre's got it pretty much wrapped up. Nothing. Ogre moves again. 1, 2. Nothing. I will move this guy. 1, 2. Okay. Ogre moves. 1, 2. And at this point, they're going to fire. I'm going to fire a missile. And so they've got an attack of 6 to 3, 2 to 1 odds. 2 to 1, 2. Okay, so 2 to 1, 2 against infantry is a disabled. So that means this infantry becomes a 2. They lose a division here. Let's pull this for not a division, but a unit. I'm not sure whether these guys are squad. I'm not sure how many infantry. I'm sure that there's a lot of background to this game. It's pretty amazing, and a lot more different units and everything, but I'm trying to keep it fairly simple. Okay, infantry is going to move in and try to take the treads down a point. So we've got 2 points. That's about all we can do, is try to take the treads down. 1. Okay, that is it. Now the ogre's going to... First of all, the ogre's going to try to mash these guys. So they essentially go rock, rock. They spend their 2 points of movement mashing the infantry. Everything's pretty much done but the crying here. And they mash them because they can do the 2 points. And these guys are out of the guns. Any more? Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 buddies in the range of that howitzer. So the howitzer gets to fire at the treads. A 3. Needed a 4, 5, or 6. So nope. And then the ogre will move. 2. Howitzer can't do anything. Ogre moves 1, 2, and mashes the base. And that's it. Anyway, this is a pretty simple game. I think it's a good intro game for people that might be interested, particularly if they're interested in science fiction, if they want to get into wargaming, I should say. And like I say, this is a really easy game. When I was a kid, it was nice because it cost $3, and I bought one at McLeod's bookstore in Wichita. And me and my friends had a great time playing this. We played this over and over and over again, and definitely got our $3 worth. But today it comes in a big old huge box set that has tons of little 3D pieces, and it's a beautifully